I'm really sorry, but good morning. I'm all behind. I'm very behind this morning. Definitely not a pro by any means. But I do appreciate anybody that liked it, that is watching it. All right. All right. Good morning. Oh, I'm set up for work now. I got everything I need to get done, and got my coffee. I don't even know if I'm in if I'm in frame, but it's all right. I keep thinking that I need to talk at that mic, but the mic's over here, right here. So I gotta remember just to talk, just talk. Anyways, my name's George, and I just I like doing talks. I like sitting here and talking. Nothing fancy. And I'm sorry if anybody's commenting. I don't have a setup to basically do lights and read comments. So it'll just be me talking. And if you want to stay up to date, you can go ahead and subscribe. And I do that like every morning, honestly. Uh, Sorry about the rooster, but I wake up every morning. I work out, whether it's running or lifting weights. I usually record it or live stream it. But today was my run. I got that done, and it's out of my way, out of my life. And it's interesting to think about running. Some people absolutely love running. I like it, but I don't love it. Sometimes it feels really good and freeing, to be running and seeing the sights by foot. I feel like a lot of times you see the sights by driving by, and it's just not the same when you're running it. All right. Well, that was a waste. Sorry. I just made really hot coffee, and I was slowly trying to drink it, but like I said, I make enough because it's really, really down there. Anywho, try it again after it cools off a little bit. But yeah, I think I actually don't really like running as much as I used to. I'm not sure why. There was a point where I was running like at least two a day, and there was even a point where I was running six a day, like three in the morning and then three at lunch. And I don't know what made me do it. Honestly, it might have been my ego. Might have been my ego. Ego is pretty strong. It's pretty bad actually. But now I don't even want to do it. I hate that it takes away from my day, and I don't even want to work out. It just feels like it takes away from my day as well. But I just have this really strong urge to, like, I feel like I have to do it. Just have no choice. And it's just interesting. Everybody talks about discipline, and I don't know if that's what even discipline is, like doing it because you have to. Because I absolutely do not want to do it. Like, I wish that I could just wake up late and not have to work out and not feel crummy and not feel disgusting, not feel bad about myself basically. But it just feels like you can't have the best of both worlds. You have to either work out, because if you don't work out, then you feel crummy. It's a hard balance, and I don't want to do it anymore, but I feel like I really have to. I must do it. I just feel like overall I feel better. But during the whole process, like, of working out or running or lifting weights, or however I decide to change my workouts, I don't ever want to really do it. And it may just be that I don't really want to. It may be that I'm short on time, and I really don't like the feeling of being behind. Because today I am behind. I won't be able to stream as long as I normally do. I may cut it a little bit shorter than normal, but maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just that I don't like feeling like I'm late, or that I'm going to be late. And it's probably the case, honestly. If I'm honest, that probably is the case. Sorry, I'm going to adjust the mic a little bit. Hopefully that helps a little bit, because the rooster's over there and the mic's on this side too. So maybe it'll dampen the rooster noise a little bit. But yeah, just I don't like it. And people always talk like not always, but you do hear about people who have these certain highs when they get done working out, and I'm not feeling these highs. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm not running enough to get the highs, but okay, go on, Britta. Anyways, um, but yeah, I just feel like I'm doing it now because I feel like it's an obligation of mine. It's not a bad obligation. It's just the fact that I have to wake up really early every morning, and I think with winter, a lot of times men, or just me in general, I guess, but I think it's actually a statistic, but at least for me, when winter hits or gets really close and the sun is less uh, is out there less, it seems as though I become more depressed. And I really don't want to get into that rut. And if you've ever been in that rut where you just feel like you're depressed and you're not sure what to do, it really, really sucks. Absolutely sucks. I mean, you just feel like you can't work out. You feel like you can't even be yourself. You're like super emotional, even though guys are not like the most emotional people. But you just feel like you could break down and cry. And it's actually really hard. I've been through it like 2 or 3 times now, and I don't ever want to go back there. And I'm not exactly sure how to avoid it because I don't know if you can avoid it altogether. That depression that follows winter, that depression that follows the lack of vitamin D. I'm not really sure, but it was like 2 years ago that I was really struggling, and man, I could hardly hold it together. I just couldn't hold it together. I remember it was rough. I was trying to talk, I just couldn't talk because I was just on the verge of blowing up in tears. And it's just like that's not even who I am. But generally, I have just a calm and relaxed demeanor, and whenever I was depressed, I just a big crybaby everywhere. That that's a funny truth. And I apologize for clearing my throat. When I go running, it really clears my sinuses. So I'll be it'll be cough. I'll be clearing my sinus a lot while I'm talking. And I hope you can hear me. I think this mic is on. I see the red light and I see the green light on here. At least I did see it. But anyways, yeah, I don't want to fall into the same thing again. I'm not sure how to avoid it. I just know that I have to run, I have to work out, and I have to eat right. You know, I have to find ways to boost and keep my testosterone at a higher level than normal because I know when I get depressed and I don't want to work out, I start building estrogen. I start getting all, I guess, feminine like in the sense of like I'm sensitive, I'm emotional, and also your body starts to change shape because of estrogen. Like you build man boobs, and it's a creepy thing. Thankfully, I never got to that point, but I know that if you do it for a long time, if you're depressed for a long time, it'll be the case. It will be. It's just hard because I'm in my early 30s and I just feel like uh, maybe I shouldn't be struggling with the things that I struggle with in terms of depression. But I've never I've never talked to anybody about it, and I've also never been through it before. Man, those roosters are really annoying. And it's like they know that I'm out here because I feed them early in the morning and they're like, "Hey, you got some food for me?" And I'm just like, "Hey, bud, I'm trying to do this live stream here, and uh, I might have to change my location. I just might have to. Maybe he'll stop after like a few crows. So I can go in like 2 seconds. One Mississippi, 2 Mississippis. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I knew he was. But anyways, yeah, that's actually really quite a strong topic with the winter coming on now and everything, and the sun being out less. It is actually really quite a big topic, and I think if there are any guys in here right now, it's actually something you should really consider. And I mean, honestly, maybe it doesn't apply to you right now, or maybe you're already in the throes of depression. So first off, I want to just apologize. I'm sorry if you are. I hate for anybody to be in depression because depression really sucks. It just drags your life down, and you just feel like you just keep going down, and you're in this tiny little hole, and you just feel like nobody understands and nobody can help you. And sometimes you want to get help, but you just feel like you can't even convey the message. So you just feel like, I don't know, leave me alone. At least that's for me. Yeah, it just feels like a fog sometimes, and I'm not there yet. And I hope I don't get there. Honestly, I'm really hoping I don't get there. But it's hard because sometimes you don't realize, like maybe your balance. There's an imbalance in your physiology. In your chemical imbalances, and you just don't really know how to adjust because you just go through life and you do things. And if you got a routine, maybe that's how you avoid it. So you do the same things over and over and over, the things that work over and over and over, and that's maybe how you get through the depression stage. Because a lot of times when you get into depression, your lifestyle changes basically. You no longer want to do these things. You want to do nothing, or you want to binge on something. You want to soothe. That's really hard, actually. It feels good in the moment. It really does. But it really doesn't solve anything. It doesn't solve the fact that you're feeling the way you're feeling. And I will just offer this to anybody who is curious, because I am a Christian. I'm not gonna be, I don't know what the word is, bashful. I know that Jesus has helped me through my depression. He's been a key component in it. And I just want to offer that up to you, that if you call upon the name of Jesus, I promise you that he can save you. He can bring you out of the pit, especially if you find yourself there. So the Bible says that he's faithful and just to forgive us for anything wrong that we've done. And I know even more so that if we call upon him, he is more than faithful and just to redeem us, to bring us out of our troubles. So that's one of the key things that I use to get me out of depression. And it's not that he like changes my life immediately, but it's something about going into a deep prayer that changes my whole perspective. Like it just does like a 180. And my eyes, oh, literally my eyes just feel like they open up because it feels like, and it's wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's wrong for me to make Asian jokes because I'm Asian. But I was just thinking about people. Like I just feel like I perceive people's jokes whenever, whenever I say these things. I don't know. Maybe it's something I've learned through the years as an Asian. But like my eyes literally open up, you know, and it just feels like my perspective has changed and everything is okay. Not that the problem is gone with, but that for the moment it seems like everything is new again. And that's just me. That's just my experience. That Jesus hasn't been able to do that for me. So if you are going through depression, oh man, I guarantee you, like I would put money on that. And I don't want to put money on it because I'm not a gambling man. But that's something that I am so 100% sure about, that he can bring you out of that pit. I promise you. And I've never been more sure about anything in my life when I say that, because of who I'm talking about. Who I'm talking about is the most faithful person that I've ever known in my life. But if you are in depression, I'm sorry, and I hope you find a way out. But if you're not there, then I'm gonna imagine you need to get going. You need to start your routine. and you need to just keep going on your routine because I have this routine that I don't like where I wake up early, I go running, or I wake up early and I lift. And I'm thinking about taking up, not when I say take up boxing, I'm thinking about personally teaching myself boxing. I took it up for a little bit in the sense that I was interested and I practiced, the steps, the punches, and all these things by myself. And I was into it for a little bit. I really do like boxing. It's really, really interesting. It's actually really a big component in self defense, because everything generally starts standing, unless you're sucker punched from behind or you're taken down from behind or whatever the case may be, I think it's such a key component in self defense. But also on top of that, it could be a really good routine, and I know it's great cardio. And cardio is actually quite relative because boxing cardio versus jiu-jitsu cardio, they're two completely different worlds. And it's just not the same cardio. It's like wrestling cardio versus Muay Thai cardio. They're not the same, Like they're good cardios, but they just if if you put a wrestler into Muay Thai, the Muay Thai guy would obviously work the wrestler. The wrestler actually may be able to keep up with the workouts and everything, but if you put a Muay Thai guy with a wrestler, the cardio there is just so much higher, so much and more intense. Personally, that's just my thought because I've done jujitsu and it's really high cardio. It's actually some of the highest cardio you can do, and I think wrestling is even higher personally. But I've been thinking about adding boxing into my mix because I've done jujitsu. So when you look at things, I always look at things from a MMA background. Like being a perfect uh, a perfect fighter in a sense that yeah, you might have fighters that are really good at boxing, but as soon as you take them down, they're just trying to squirm and worm, and then you get the top position, and then you get the mount, and you get the triangle choke, or you get the ground and pound, because the guy doesn't know what he's doing on the ground, or you do vice versa. The guy knows no boxing, and the guy knows jujitsu, a little bit of jujitsu. It's just like you're in different worlds. When you're standing up, you're in the boxer's world, and when you're on the ground, you're in the jujitsu guy's world. So it's important, I think, to be well versed, to be able to throw punches, to be able to wrestle, to be able to submit people, to hold people in safe and good positions. If you're holding people down for wherever the case may be, if they're a bad dude who's trying to hurt people, but you've got them, in a triangle choke, and you're just holding on to him till the police get there, or if you're a wrestler and the guy's like, if he's really big and he's really sporadic and he's like, he thinks he's a tough dude, and you just do like a duck under and suplex him, but or if the situation deems boxing because the guy just wants to try to, like, he thinks he's a bad dude and he can like knock your lights out, because there are a lot of people who can, and people that aren't really good at fighting can still win street fights, but it's different when you come up to somebody who knows what they're doing, and it's not the same thing, but anyways, I'm thinking about adding that to my I actually wanted to add boxing, really. That's what or Muay Thai or kickboxing, whatever the case may be, one of the two, Muay Thai or kickboxing, into my arsenal essentially, because I feel like I have like a small understanding of punching, and I've done some Muay Thai back in college whenever I was learning by myself. I understand the some of the kicks like like the teep and doing the drills of like I don't remember, it was like the puke, they call it the puke drill, back back when I was in it. Like you do, like it was one, two kicks, three kicks, all the way to nine, and then you have to do nine back down to do one. And I didn't throw out, thankfully, but I guess people have, so that's why they call it the puke drill. Anyways, oh yeah, I really want to add that to my arsenal, and I think it'll be good for my cardio. And at the moment, I'm trying to eat right. But at the moment, I'm not working out that hard, and work has slowed down, so it's not as physical. So I've also lowered my calorie or my macros so that I can adjust because I'm still trying to get leaner, more lean. Because I went from 220 all the way down to 190, and the other day I saw that I broke 190, and I've been breaking 190. But I've been sitting at 190. But I really want to get down to 180. I want to get lean, and I want to be strong. I don't want to be fat and flabby the way that I've been. But I think once I hit 180, I'm gonna work my way back up, but in the smart way, eat right and eat my way all the way back up to like 190 or 195 and be jacked basically the right way. Instead of like doing a what's the word? What's the word? A dirty bulk. I don't want to do a dirty bulk. I want to do a clean bulk. Dirty bulks, they're nice. You eat whatever you want, and you try to be mindful of get as much protein as you want. As much as you can, but you can eat anything you want. But it's just such a hard road back to being lean again. Because I was in college and I was doing basically a dirty bulk. Go to the cafeteria and I just eat whatever I wanted. But as soon as I started cutting, man, I was like I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Like day 1 or 2, I was like, wow, this sucks. The cut really sucks. I'm so used to eating anything and everything, and now I have to cut myself cold turkey. Yeah. So I think it's probably an easier transition if you're doing a clean bulk and then you're doing a clean cut. Because I guess you could do a dirty cut in the sense that like um, maybe you don't care what kind of macros you get as long as you're hitting your macros. But I want to do like real foods. You know what I mean? Like beef and chicken, and the carbs are solid carbs. Like it could be protein or sorry, potatoes, or it could be rice. But like I'm not adding like chips into my diet. Even though it makes your macros, I'm not willing to do that. Because I don't think. Sorry, I'm so sorry. But I don't think that it really benefits you to do anything like that in a dirty way. Just to try to keep it clean, and it's easier for you to transition mentally and physically. It's easier to transition when you do everything the same way. If I'm eating beef and rice in larger bulks up, and I'm eating beef and rice uh, in a lower volume on my way back down, it's really not as hard. Or even if I don't do beef and rice, even if I have 2 different meals or 3 different meals to alternate with, yeah, that works way better than eating burgers, fries, all the way up to like 200, and then cutting all the way back down to 190, trying to do beef, fries, potato, chicken, and all this, and then it's just like it's hard. It's a really hard transition, you know. And it's just like trying to eat something sweet and then trying to eat some vegetables. It's just the two don't really mix that well. Like if you're eating Snickers and then they say, "Hey, here's a celery," you're like they don't mix at all. And it's hard to transition from a Snickers bar to a celery stick. You know what I mean? And it's just for comparison, so you understand the vast difference of the two. Let's see if I can't get a drink on this thing. Still smoking pretty good, and I don't really want to burn myself. Well, it's pretty cold out here. I mean, I'm cold. It's like probably gonna drop down to like, and I know cold. I know some people here watching are probably like cold. It's like negative blah 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 here. And it's not negative. It's like maybe 50 right now. But you know what? When you're sitting down and you're doing nothing, everything feels way worse than it really is. Let me get it. While I do this, if you like this, go ahead and subscribe. And I do this every morning. If you like it, go ahead and like it. And I appreciate everybody that's watching or is interested. I know it's just me talking about random things that's on my mind, and that's what I generally do. There are different times when I'll turn the camera around and I'll look and I'll read comments and I'll interact. But sometimes I feel like whenever I do that, I don't really speak honestly. I don't speak truthfully and genuinely. So I just have the camera pointed at me, lights on, and I don't see any comments. But I do appreciate everybody and anybody that watches and anybody that subscribes or likes and just spends the morning with me. So I appreciate it and thank you. While I do this, you go ahead and do that. That was way easier. Why was I was like this. I literally did this for a solid like 10 seconds. And I just went like, and I'm like, what? Okay, I must have just been really scared. I must have been really scared of getting burned. I mean, it was way fresher, and you can see all the steam just leaving. That's all the warmth in that coffee just going. Thankfully, it's cooling down, but I'm not glad because I'm cold at the same time. So let's just put my coffee here. Maybe I can use it for warming my hands. I would make a fire. It's just that we haven't gotten rain in a while. Like the grass here is so dead that if I started a fire and if the wind took it off and blew somewhere, there's a solid chance that I would just start a big, big wildfire. And I don't ever, ever, ever want to be that guy because I've heard of those stories of like guys who have had campfires and then they left the campfire. They thought it was dead. Well, it was, and they left camp, and the next thing you know, wildfires in California are raging through blah blah blah. And the guy's probably sitting there pooping his pants. He's like, "Oh snap, that might be me." And they always seem to find out. They always seem to find out who did it. Somehow they find out who did it, basically. And I guess there are times where they don't find out either. But I don't even want to be. It doesn't matter. That's not the most important thing. The most important thing is I don't want to ruin people's lives. I don't want to burn people's houses down. I don't want to destroy property. I'd rather not because I would hate for that to happen to me. I'd hate to see my house up in flames and there'd be no way to save it essentially because I've lit fires and not realizing how dry it was, and the fire just like literally walked to my house and burnt the vinyl siding, and, and it was pretty sketch. I mean, I was freaking. I was like, "Get water!" And it's so crazy, but fire instills panic in humans like no one else. Like one time, I put this cardboard over this fire that had died, and it's just smoking, and like it's fine. It'll like light up in like 5 to 10 minutes. It'll get hot enough. Well, it's been going on for like maybe an hour or two, and we're about to get ready for bed. And the next thing that you see this big, and it's like just the window, like you call it the window cover, the blinds. You could just see this bright color just hit it. I'm like, what in the world is that? And it's like, oh yeah, I put that cardboard in there, and it burst in flames basically because it finally built enough heat to combust basically. And we just freaked out. We were like, oh my days, there's a huge fire outside. What do we do? Something just happened. Thankfully, nothing happened. It just died down immediately because the cardboard finally got burnt up. It dried up enough and it just died. But I tell you, fire, it makes you freak out. It just makes you freak out. People freak out. And for the people who can be like calm under stressful situations, especially under legitimate fire, that's just something else. That's props to you if you can. Like I don't even want to barely like touch myself on the fire. I just like I try to be quick. I've burned myself a few times, and I learned my lesson to be quick and be fast and don't play too much with it. Man, it's really hard to be out here right now. Like I'm to the point where I'm shivering a smidgen. I'm gonna see what time it is. If there's still time on the clock, if I don't have to leave, I'll probably do some push-ups, try to warm myself up, or some squats. What time is it? It is currently snapola. Okay, I got you know what? I got like 10 or 20 minutes before I have to leave. So I'm just gonna do something to keep me warm. Ooh. Oh boy. I'll tell you, that made me warm. That is very warming. I feel good now. All right, let's see if I'm back in screen. I am in screen. All right, cool. Whew, all right, that warmed me up pretty good. You know, I don't usually do 30 in a row because I'm lazy. And usually I do everything in reps of threes, but it's hard to do 3 reps of or 3 sets of. I do them sets of threes, but it's hard to do. It's hard to do 30 reps and then and keep the reps basically every set because you have to take too much of a break. Whew, now I gotta breathe. What I'm trying to say is it's hard to keep that, that high count of push-ups. So usually I stick to like 15 to 20. That's my range, and then I'll do 3 sets of them because that's more sustainable than doing 30 and doing 3 sets of them. Because basically you're doing 100 push-ups. It's basically what it is. And when I heal back up, I imagine when this knee is fully healed and I can bend it properly and put some serious pressure on it, I'll be able to go back to jiu-jitsu. But more than anything, I really want to be able to do burpees again. That's what I really want to do. And that was something that I was really, really proud of. Like one day I saw somebody who was doing burpees. Well, actually, that's probably not how it actually happened. I wanted to lose weight basically. And I looked and saw, oh, look, if somebody just wrote it on their website, said, if you can do 100 burpees in 10 to 12 minutes, says you're doing great. If you can do 100 burpees in 8 to 6 minutes, you're in really good shape. If you can do 100 burpees in 4 minutes, you are a legend, or you're a bad dude, basically. And it was just on their website. And I was like, that's seriously, like, how hard are burpees? So I proceeded to do burpees out of like literally out of the blue. Like I went into the hallway and I just started doing burpees, and I didn't count very well, so I thought I did 106 minutes, like an idiot. I don't know why I thought that, but I was like, man, I'm really good at this. Well, when I did it again, and it started becoming my workout, and I started doing like sets. Like I do 10 burpees within within 1 minute, and whatever time I have left over in that minute, that's what I get to rest. And I realized I wasn't doing it in 6 minutes. I was actually doing it in 10 minutes. So I was able to do 100 burpees in 10 minutes. But it was something that I was really proud of. I was like, oh, that's actually really pretty good. And I was like, I want to move up to, or I guess I want to move into the next level. I want to get it down to at least 8 or 9 minutes. And then I started adding, instead of doing 10 every minute, I would do 11 or 12 every minute. And then it would basically, the more you can do in a minute, basically the less time you would have to do it, essentially. But that means you get less rest time. You get more fatigue faster when you add more reps into that 1 minute. But like the last set would be like 9 or 8 burpees, and you're just lazy and you can hardly do it. I mean, but there was a point like a year or two ago where I was doing that every morning. Every morning I would get it done in 8 minutes, and that was my goal. And I was just slaying the burpees. Yeah, I was dying still. I was still dying, but I was, something up here was clicking, and I was just like, you know what? I'll wake up and I'm gonna do them. And that was when I was running 3 in the morning, and then I came and did my burpees in under 8 minutes, 100 of them, and then I would go to work, go to lunch, and then I would also run on my lunch another 3. And I don't know what it was, but there was a point in my life where I was just going hard on everything. Like, can you imagine going on a 3-mile run, coming back, and then doing 100 burpees in under 8 minutes? Like at that point, I might as well have been doing a CrossFit. You know what I mean? Okay, those push-ups did not help as much as I thought they would, because my arms feel like they're pumped, but my fingers, I might have to like just do this. Feels a little better. Anywho, but yeah, there was a point in my life where I was just going hard, and I actually don't know why I was going hard because I think I was more concerned with what people thought about me. So I was like, I'm gonna be a beast, basically, And I think at this point in my life, I don't think I want to be a beast. I think my ego, I have an ego like everybody else, but I think that my ego is slowly, ever so slightly, dropping off, which I appreciate that it is because you can't be old and dumb. You just can't. The two don't mix. Even though there are some people that are old and dumb, somehow by the grace of God, they're still alive because old and dumb don't mix. Because you get hurt and you don't heal. It doesn't mix. But yeah, now at this point in my life, I'm just trying to. It's so bad. I feel like I'm getting old. I really do. Like mentally, my mentality has just changed. Like I want to get in shape, but I don't want to kill myself in the process. I don't want to hurt myself. And people will say, "Hey, you should go do that. That's really fun." No, man, I don't want to do it. Especially one, I don't have insurance, and two, um, it hurts to hurt. It just hurts. Like I've been hurt enough in my life, seriously enough to know some things are worth it and some things are not worth the hurt. And I'm going to essentially save myself for only serious situations, like saving my family or my life or saving somebody's lives. But for fun, I'll still do jujitsu to gain the cardio, and I know there's always a chance of getting hurt there, but it's part of the process, and that's something that is actually worth the trouble. Like the other day, my coworkers found a moped on the side of the road. Probably some crackhead just dropped it off because they didn't want to deal with it. It was probably stolen. Well, now they're riding a moped around, and that's their new thing. And when I say they dropped it off, this thing wasn't working. The Kickstarter, whatever with your foot didn't work. You had to put a drill to it and go give it a good few turns, and it would just start up. But they're like, you should ride that. I'm like, I'm not gonna ride that. Like, I don't care how cool it is. Like, whatever, you guys do what you want. I'm not down with that. I don't want to get hurt. And that would be a really stupid story to say, like, hey, babe, I got hurt. I rode on the moped and now my armor is broken. Like, how dumb is that? Like, maybe it used to be, I don't, I used to think I was kind of cool whenever I was younger. Like, yeah, I got hurt. I was riding a moped. Like, I've done dumb things. Like, one time when I was in high school, I was hanging out at the park with a bunch of high schoolers, and they had a skateboard, and something in my brain said, "Hey, I could probably ride down on that roof." And it was just like a shed, but the angle was really steep. It wasn't like a nice like angle like that. It was like more like that. I climbed to the very top, at the very peak of that roof, and I rode it down. I actually went all the way down. I hit it. I went all the way down, and there was a little lip right here. And as soon as I hit that lip, uh, yeah, I went tumbling forward, and I fell probably like, what is it? What's probably like 6 or 7 feet from the air with motion behind me too. I fell from there all the way down to the ground, and I still faintly remember some things. Like the first thing that I remember was some dumb kid had his camera in my face to record me moaning and groaning in pain. And I remember getting up, and the first thing I said was like, "Hey, I got to go home." And I remember driving home in my parents' truck, and I was just like, I had like tunnel vision. Like the only thing I could think about was go this direction, and I drove, and I made the turn at the right turn, and I knew I wasn't my regular self. I just didn't understand what the problem was. But I had a concussion, like a big dummy, but I had a concussion. And that's one story that I'll always remember, that I'll always tell myself or tell others when something dumb is going to happen. Like, just Just so you guys know, that's what happened to me. And it's just a reminder to myself and anyone else that wants to do dumb things. I am lucky because I could have landed like on my neck. I could have landed with my foot turned the wrong way, my arm like receiving me and just bowed out and bent the wrong way and broken. But I landed on my side. That's probably the best way. And to this day, I'm still thankful because I'm thankful to God because I could have died that day. Honestly, I could have died that day. Or I could have been paralyzed that day. And everybody was laughing and having a great time except for me. And if I tried really hard, I bet I could find that video somewhere on YouTube. There's a chance. I just don't know what I would even look up. Oh, probably kid rides skateboard on the roof. That's probably where you would find that. So I know what I'm going to do today. I'm going to look up and see if that video exists. And I'm sure some of you might be doing that too. Anyways, if you like watching this, if you thought it was interesting, go ahead and subscribe because I'm about to leave. And if you want to keep up with it, I'll do it every morning. So I try to give you guys a little heads up, a little warning. But if I don't, then just expect me the same time every morning. Next morning, I might be doing kettlebell workout. Might be trying something new. And yeah, go ahead and like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys maybe later tomorrow. I live stream whenever really, but guarantee in the mornings. Anyways, you have a good day. God bless you. And I hope you have a good day. I'm going to pray for you guys before I leave. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for the blessings that you've given me. And just thank you for this time they get to talk and spend time with people that I may not know, but just that they get to sit here and talk with me and conversate with me. I just pray that you bless each one of them. I pray your will be done in their lives. And I pray that they would come to the knowledge of you and your son, Jesus. And just thank you, God, for this beautiful day. I know I'm cold, but thank you for another day to be alive, Father. And give you glory and thanks and the praise in the name of Jesus. Amen. Have a good day, guys. Time to go to work. It's cold. Coffee. All right. Ooh. Let's see. I got to kill that.